This post contains spoilers for AXE Judgment Day number 4 following the devastating events of the latest issue of AXE Judgment Day. It's inevitable that the Marvel Universe will have to change in some fairly significant ways going forward. Featuring crucial judgments of individual characters as well as the world at large, the deliberations of the revived progenitor Celestial will need to be referenced and dealt with for years to come. Just like all the best Marvel crossover events, Judgment Day will undoubtedly make a lasting impact that will be hard for heroes such as the Avengers, the X-Men, and the Eternals to ignore. In Marvel's Judgment Day from writer Kieran Gillen and Valerio Schiti, the Prime Eternal Droog and the majority of the Eternal race chose to go to war with the X-Men, having discovered that mutants share DNA with the Deviants. As such, the Avengers and a handful of Eternal defectors have joined mutant-kind in their fight. While they were hoping to revive the progenitor Celestial to force the Eternals to stop fighting, the plan massively backfired, with the reawakened progenitor choosing to judge the world both individually and collectively, promising to destroy the world should they fail. Now, the new Judgment Day number 4 features the progenitor's many interactions with the Marvel Universe's heroes and villains, judging by its own cosmic standards and metrics of morality. Beginning with Captain America, who didn't measure up based on the state of the nation he symbolizes, the progenitor appears before heroes such as Daredevil, who similarly fails, judging Matt Murdock as Jesus. Professor Xavier fails by ignoring the progenitor who took the form of his son. Miles Morales passes. Dr. Doom passes himself after refusing to say that Reed Richards is smarter, a decision the Celestial agrees with. Luke Cage fails. Ms. Marvel passes. Based on his ability to pick up his hammer, Thor must be worthy and is judged as such. While there are many more who were judged all over the globe, the progenitor ultimately fails the entire world and begins dishing out its sentence, killings countless, despite the hero's attempts to persuade the Celestial otherwise. While the world will naturally have to pick up the pieces after the planet is somehow saved, things can't just go back to how they were considering all the judgments that were laid out. Assuming that the Earth survives, Marvel needs to keep publishing comics after all, the typical status quo will still have been destroyed. Firstly, relations between humans, mutants, and Eternals are either going to be stronger or even more strained than they already were in the aftermath. Going further, one would expect that certain heroes would try and be different in the face of their individual judgments. Captain America, being judged as a failure due to the state of his nation, needs to sit with him for the long term. It should prompt him to do things differently. The same goes for any of the other heroes and citizens of Earth who didn't receive a thumbs up from the progenitor. Things can't just go back to normal once Judgment Day ends. To do so would be a massive failure on the part of the publisher. Marvel Comics needs to make sure an impact is felt for years to come, just like some of the biggest events such as Civil War, Avengers vs. X-Men, M-Day, and more. The stakes are so high for this Avengers, X-Men, and Eternals event. It won't make much sense if there weren't any long-term consequences or ramifications once it ends.